All right. I think this is on. I think we are back to the usual location, the usual stream, but you'll have to tell me if you can see me and hear me and all of the things. Welcome. It is Wednesday. It is the Wednesday live stream, and I will not do anything exciting until I have a confirmation from the chat over there. It's for me, it's over there, that it's all working because that's the stressful part. Saying hi, looking at folks who are in the chat. Margaret jumping in, letting me know that I don't have to stress out anymore because I would have still been stressing out about the sound and all the rest. Not gonna lie, I sat here and when I hit the go live button or the on button or whatever it is, that I was like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Turns out it's working. So I see Stiggs in the chat. It's good to see you there, Stiggs. And I saw Game Guy, friend. Thanks for dropping in. And I see Margaret and Zach and Sonia. Hey guys, what is up? So it is Wednesday. I hate to open up the live stream as people are rolling in with the confirmation of the news that I saw on Twitter this morning. Google did the nice for us and dropped the bomb. The Google Search Central just what recently it said at 8:56 a.m. I don't even know what time zone that is. It could have been yesterday for all I know, but they are releasing a broad core update. And what was funny is that so Twitter sent me the text message in my email, and the title of the email was "Red Alert, Shields Up." So if you're nerdy like me, you're like, oh, it's a nice little Star Trek reference there. And I was imagining like the sounds of like, uh, and then I was looking through the comments, and then I see Mushfiq from the website Flip. He's like, oh, yeah, it's the same update that has been rolling out already. So I don't know how stressed out to be, right? I don't know how stressed out to be if it's going to be something big or if whatever has happened has already happened. So I guess this is the call out, folks. What is going on with your sites? Is there anything? Have you seen anything, smelled anything, touched anything, tasted anything? Is it any different at all? I saw some stuff bumping around, not so much the last couple of days, but a week ago for me, last weekend. And so I don't know, but we shall see. So I've had some questions. How is it going so far? I have nothing, no response. There is Keith, what's going on, and Adrian and Eric. What's going on? Eric says it's been a long time since he's been here with us, and we have missed you, friend. Thank you for finding a way to make it here today. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. I don't know what's going on here, but that is pretty much usual. I almost never know what is going on. Key says, let's see if we can get through the stream without mentioning core updates. Josh is here on time. Welcome, Josh, the person I like to bounce things off of, who challenges me when it makes sense. Josh is here. Key says that he's up a bit, which is good. That's a relief, nothing down. Eric says that his main site is slowly growing, but nothing unusual or unexpected. There is Maeve. Thanks for dropping in. Josh is getting in there and giving us his accountability statement, and I have mine. I have some things written down here to share. So I hope that you in the chat will also contribute with, how was your week? How was your month? How is it going? I know some of you may still be hungover from the affiliate gathering, Carl Broadbent's event in New York last Friday. So sort of depending on when you arrived there, it could have been Wednesday through Sunday, or it could have been on Friday. But for those of you who did attend affiliate gathering, this is your opportunity to make me extremely jealous. Tell me how it went. Would you go again? Would you recommend? What was the highlight? I would love to hear some of these things so I can drool a little bit and wish that I was there even more than I did. Josh says that he's trying to fire out enough to manage being gone. Yes, that explains why you're so productive, because you know that you are taking some time off, which is awesome. Key says, random observation. We're both drinking from our WP Eagle mug at this exact moment. Keith, I have to admit that I was not thinking of you when I pulled this mug out. I was thinking of Alex. But thank you, Alex. And then I think that's hilarious that you are using the mug also. Sonia, making the rest of us look bad, is up listening to the stream at 1 a.m. and is actually writing a blog post. If I had, let's see, what do I have in here? I have the Derek, plug your ears, you ready? That is my sound effects for Sonia for working so hard and making the rest of us look bad. Ooh, there is Chris. Chris is back. I wish I had enough brain cells to be ready to harass Chris about something. I got nothing. I got nothing. Chris says, drink every time Amelia says core update and finish your drink if she says, what's for tea? Well, we have to imagine that Carl's probably exhausted and probably can't be bothered to sit down at his computer at all and probably won't for the next month, right? So if Carl comes into the stream, we will ask him what's for tea, but otherwise, we won't worry too much about it. And Carl, if you were here, like on replay, put it in the chat, and not in the chat, in the comments below. That thing. Keith said he made a video sharing his thoughts of affiliate gathering that went live a little bit ago. I can't imagine that they were anything negative, but Keith is going to hold his cards close to his chest, and we will check out. I will be checking out your video, Keith. So that's fine. Sonia is laughing. She says, "Ha ha! This is the only time I get to write because of my full-time day job." Do we have permission to? There's Jen finally coming in, like letting us know somebody's serious this year. It's a good reminder. All right. Everybody says we expect the wife on new videos. Did Chris get married over the weekend? Is that what the buzz is? Does everybody think Chris got married? Did Chris get married? I didn't think so, but I could be wrong. Ooh, so I have a milestone. You guys ready for this? You ladies too, you ladies and gentlemen. So for the Miga site, I discovered my first, not competitor, because they're definitely competitor niches, but a competitor who is aware of me and has started to model some content on their site to mine. And so here's the thing, right? I would not have noticed it because they're not necessarily doing that really jerk thing where they go and they take your exact keyword and they take all your headings and they go through and just spin all your content and basically just repost your article, right? So that's not what's happening. But I noticed that somebody in my niche who is a direct competitor who has a site that is older, and I don't know if they're more experienced or what the deal is, but my post, this particular article, it's a versus post, and they are using the same style of headers. And the reason I know this is because I plan to go back eventually and change the headers so that it's better for on page, right? They're kind of wasteful, kind of like placeholders, like, oh, like I'll get back to this later and then do something better with this. And they've just chosen to model the whole entire article, like all the way down through the end. And then the keywords aren't my keywords. Not that they're my keywords. They're just not the same keywords that I've targeted. It's just the same style, the versus article. So um so far there's been no drama because they're not copying, but I guess I could look at it on the positive side, which is, hey, this person who's been around longer than me thinks that I'm doing something worthwhile. They think that I don't want to say a threat, but that this site is, coming for them. And they've started to do what I'm doing. And I don't even know if what I'm doing is a good thing. Right. But I just noticed it. And rather than be like, trying to look at the bright side of it. And so as I've sort of been thinking through it and like, how do I feel about it? You say, okay, what do you do when the competitor notices you? Like, do you go back and like go after their keywords? And not gonna lie, I dug through their site and was like, oh, those are some good keywords. But I'm not going in full scale attack mode. First of all, because I don't necessarily think that this site is truly a threat to me, at least at this point. And the primary reason is that I am way more prolific than this individual. Like, this site has been around for much longer, and they only have about 300 articles on their site. And mine has, we're closing in on almost 1,000. So I'm at 970 and putting out way more content than this site, which um, So, I could look at it like, oh, they've noticed me and are they going to come after me now? But they would really have to mount like a really serious investment in time and money to come after all of my keywords. So I don't know. It was interesting. I thought I would share. I am behind on the chat. I'm going back to check and see what is up. Let's see. Stig says that seriousness will not be tolerated in this space. Yes, well, as long as you use all caps, Stigs, I don't think anybody will take anything you say seriously. Chris says he's not married yet. See, I didn't think so, but other people were very, very sure that Chris was getting married. And who was I to say? Like, I don't know. Several festivities happening over the summer, and just have weddings like all over the world. I bet your wife would love that. I'm sure you would too. Jen says that she's got a stupid question, but she's stuck. And first of all, I will tell you the thing that everybody always said, which is, okay, there are stupid questions, but you're feel free to ask them. And this is a safe space. I model it, right? Like if you can do some of the boneheaded things that I have done and talked about doing, then this is a safe space. So now I'm scrolling. Let's see. She says, during keyword research, I found a huge amount of questions with no good responses. They all apply to my niche. Okay. I'm waiting for the question. For example, totally fictitious example. Yes, we don't expect you to tell us about your niche. It says, how long does it take to knit a sweater, sock, bikini, etc.? Do you write all 50 articles back to back or do you space them out? Let's see. Josh says, try and fire at one or two of them, maybe. So question, I guess as I was reading that, it says, do you write them all 50 articles back to back or do you space them out? And when I think that I've come across keywords that could result in pretty immediate traffic, I go at it as hard as I possibly can to get it done. And sometimes that takes a while. And if I had a whole day to work, I would just do as many of them and fire them out. Like I don't know necessarily that there's really any proof. Proof might be the wrong word. But I don't see any real reason to not just, if you can write them, if you can get them done, to just post them. You say, oh, well, should I do all the articles now or should I space them out? So the only reason I might potentially hold some of those back is if you think that you might not have maybe the authority to rank on some of the questions and have plans in the future to dig deeper into clusters on those topics. Like let's say you have a quilting site and the primary thing that you work on is sweaters, right? The whole site is about sweaters and you've come up with 50 questions that are like generally about quilting, but you're only really focusing on sweaters. I mean, maybe what you would do is just do the sweaters questions now and then save the other ones for when you go down and do the other clusters, because maybe you think, oh, maybe if I write about quilting dog jackets, because dog jackets are really far away from sweaters, that maybe because the site's not that big yet, that it might confuse the Google like it's a person. It just might make it harder for Google to understand what your site is totally about. And that maybe you should hold those dog sweater questions until you get into the dog sweater cluster for quilting, of course. But personally, I think that if they're all generally around the fictitious topic of quilting, and you have the answers to those questions, and you think that you could knock out all of those articles really quickly, and they're like closely related to quilting, and you plan in the future to delve deeper into the topics that these address, I would just say, do it. Fire away. Go for it. Giddy up. Take a shot for saying it's Christmas. Ken just announced, I missed this in the chat. Right over there. Ken says that he just made his first $1 today. Oh my God. It's like an angel got its wings. Like, what do I do about this? Like, what do I got? I got, and I've got, I forgot how to play that, because the kazoo you don't blow. And I tried to do the same thing in the harmonica, and it didn't work. I got nothing else. Oh, anyway, congratulations, Ken. There is nothing I feel like that is quite as exciting. I mean, I have 3 children, right? So the birth of children was pretty momentous, but making the you just made my day, Ken. Thank you so very much. That is of it all, and what a wonderful thing. I sometimes, if there were things that I could do again, I might make that. No, that's a lie. I would go back and you know what? I just can't wait till I make my first like $100,000. Oh, Graham is here. I thought we weren't going to say core update. I'm pretty sure that everybody who is consuming alcohol right now needs to take a shot. Every person who logs on, it says core update. I think everybody drinks. Let's see. Eric says one site that has been copying part of my article that gets the most traffic, and then they did link to my site. That's strange. That's a big scraping site. Yeah, I don't always know what the strategy is. They copy part of it and then they link back as so as to avoid like a DMCA takedown. They're like, we're just referencing you, right? We're crediting with you. We're not stealing your content. We've linked back to you. You should be grateful. And you're like, I'm not grateful. I'm not grateful. Let's see. Sonia says, so actually, what do we do when we see a competitor taking our keywords? Because I noticed someone started doing the same. There is not that much that can be done. I think in most cases it is work harder than them. In some cases, people will turn to link building, right? They try to build up the authority of their own site. So, both articles might rank in the top 10, but the hopes that you would grab the top spot. Working on your SEO and your on page to try and get the top spot to get the click, to work on adding images so that if you get the image spot, that there's your article versus theirs. You just have to try to do your best. And it is a bummer. And it happens to everybody. It's going to happen to everybody. Let's see, scrolling. Zach says that he hasn't had this many buffering issues since the last time Chris was here. Is anybody else lagging? Because maybe it's just me. I don't think my YouTube is lagging. I think it's just my person. Let's see. Jen says, these are all questions with pretty much just forum answers. Okay, so if I came across a bunch of questions that the forums ranked 1, 2, and 3, I would drop everything and just do all of them. Pretty much. That sounds like a great like you've been digging and digging and digging, and then you just got into some gold, and I would be mining the heck out of that and going down there as far as I could, because that seems like a great opportunity. I'm just saying, I would get right in there. Ooh, our friend Eric, hello from Income Grinders. Eric has let us know recently that he is starting his recently, I can't remember, Eric, if you've done targeted US traffic before, but you were going into starting a new site in the US market. And I actually have one of your videos where you talk about doing niche selection in my watch later, like little thing, because I plan to go and catch up because I want to follow along with you. So how's it going? Eric says that it's a really difficult time to make this stream. Yes, there are people. I'm sure there are many people around the world who would love to be here live and then cannot because it's during dinner or while they're sleeping, which happens for me a lot of times. Like Alex goes live a lot of times when I'm asleep. I just can't do 4 in the morning. I just can't. First dollar is the sweetest. It so is. Core update, core update, core update. Oh my goodness. We're going to need to call an ambulance on somebody at this point if they're truly playing this game. They're going to be passed out on the floor. Oh my goodness. The poor liver. That's right. Eric says he's drinking cider. I'm sorry. I'm still on my first cup of coffee for the day. I got a slow start today. Has made me Irish my coffee. Keith says, let's give this update a name. Mayday? Yeah, that's actually a good play on words. There's Mayday, and then there's like, Mayday, like, please assist me because the boat is going down. I don't have enough brain cells to come up with something good, but if somebody else does have a name for this, I cannot wait to hear it. Eric says that he had his first dollar in January and very close to 10, your first dollar ever, and then fast forward 4.5 months and you are close to $10 a day. That is great because, $10 a day times 30 days is $300. It goes from being, something you could spend on a cup of coffee to something where you could really start paying bills with $300 a day. And if you live in certain parts of the world, $300 a month would be like a pretty decent living. So that's exciting. I'm excited. This show is kind of hard on my liver. Stiggs, you are hard on my liver. Mayhaps, ooh, mayhem. Dad coming in here and delivering us with some good plays on May. May the Force be with us, dude. May the 4th. May it live in infamy. I don't even want to think back to May the 4th. Maeve said she had her first dollar day on March 18th. Yes. And on May 18th had your first $7 day, which is so exciting. It's addicting. Like you start to see it growing and then you like get really addicted to opening up your analytics and be like, oh, it was more than yesterday. The downside of that is when it doesn't go up or it stays really static and you don't have that rush of dopamine, like the positive reinforcement so then you're like, how do I stay motivated when the needle is not really moving? Yeah, welcome to year 4. Eric says he's not done US before, so this is exciting times. Well, I'm excited to see how it plays out when you use all of your superpower skills that you have been executing on Sweden and come and turn them on us. Can't wait to see it. There is Sabina. Tell us, how are things? How is your May? How's it going? She says, back to Jen was talking about her 50 plus keywords that with form answers is that the blog roll may look weird. I'm going to hit them all. Well, how many people actually look at the blog roll? Like truly, like most times people, they search the question and then they hit the article. And then, where do they go from there? Do they go to one of the articles that you suggest somewhere in your article? I mean, ideally that would be the case. Or they go to the homepage and you say, oh, well, the blog roll might look weird. I said, well, don't put the blog roll on your homepage then. And then they'll never know. Like you could create a specific category pages of your own. Say, okay, on the homepage, I'll make specific a category page that has like my best articles that I want them to see and just have that there rather than having it just be a static roll of all of your recent posts. And then nobody knows. They would have to go to your sitemap or to do a query on Google to see what all of your articles are. And problem solved. Let's see. She says, I'm going to hit them all. 300 to 500 posts. That is a lot of questions. Wow. Sabina says that she got dangerously close to her first $10 day. Oh, man. I feel like, Sabina, that we were just celebrating your first dollar. And then $5. I just, is time flying that much? I honestly don't feel like it has really been that long since we went from 0 to that first dollar. How long has it been? Like, is it longer than I thought if I just time traveled and here I am? Eric is going for rich blood. Yes, as he should. He's going to destroy us all over here. Eric says he woke up at midnight this night and bought a US domain I was supposed to wait buying. No, sometimes it's just time. Like sometimes it's time to take action. Sometimes it is the day. So well done. But now I want to know, I'm like, how much did he spend on that domain? And like, where did he buy it from? Was it a fresh domain or an H domain? Like, I want to know all the things now. Let's see. Keith says, it might sound strange, but nothing Keith ever says sounds strange. Never. Says, I was more excited reaching $1 than I was reaching 100. Yeah, well, the thing about the first dollar online or reaching $1 a day or like the beginnings is not only are you getting the money, but you're also getting the reinforcement, the belief that it's going to work. Like this can work. When you get to $100 a day or a month or wherever you are, you already have that belief. You already have the understanding. Like you know already that it's going to work. And so, you don't have that extra like oomph, like, oh, I can do it, because you already know. You already know that you can do it. One of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to do a short segment, and this is our audience participation segment. So those of you who are lurking and working, I need you to like warm up your fingers and dust off the dust. I want to do a segment that is called What's Working for Me. And I would love for this whole chat for, at least a couple of minutes to be filled with just little tips like what is one small thing that I'm really finding that is working, right? And it could be mindset, it could be keyword research, it could be taking a walk every morning. Like May has been hard for me, like mindset wise. I have not gotten very much done and I feel like garbage about it. And I am trying to be honest about it without being like Debbie Downer, like, woe is me, because let's face it, I live in the United States and I have enough food to eat and my children are healthy. And, um, you know, so I don't want to like get bogged down in like but at the same time, I want to acknowledge that the mental load sometimes can be a challenge and overcoming it, working for yourself, it's hard. And so I wanted to share one of the things that's positive that is working for me. And then I want to go over to the chat and see other people sharing some things that are working for them. So here's my thing, and I'll let you think about it while you're dusting all the dust off and like getting warmed up. So, one of the things that I have noticed recently that is really working is I have been doing alphabet soup on questions, right? That maybe people around the United States that are searching this answer. And it could be something that where the answer is probably the same wherever you are. Like I'm going to use my fence post example. Like, how much does a piece of cedar cost? And then if you do that in alphabet soup, in most cases, it won't, the auto suggest will just say, how much you will auto complete. Well, how much does the fence post cost, at Costco or at Home Depot or these various places? And so instead of following that, I have been adding a geographic location. The geographic location as the keyword, as a long tail version of the keyword, isn't showing up in the alphabet soup or autosuggest or LSI or in Ahrefs or anywhere else. And I write an article, a location specific article, like in Alabama. And I'm not saying that you should write articles about prices in various places because you'll get eaten up by Walmart and all the stores, but asking a question and then adding a geographic location and then doing a little bit of research just to confirm or to tailor the article to just make sure that the location specific information is correct. And what I have started to notice, even going down to like county and city, so like how do you build a fence in Birmingham, Alabama, or in Birmingham, or in just in Alabama? And what I think is happening, even though this isn't necessarily the way people are searching, is that Google is looking at the geographic location of the person who is doing the search and is pushing the location specific article to them, even though that wasn't necessarily what they searched, because Google knows more about us now. Like everybody's got their phones that knows where we are. And so I've been having some good luck on some, I think, competitive type questions or competitive type articles when I add the geographic location, because I think that article, I don't know if it's like hitting number one. It might be hitting like one, two, or three. But I think people, when they're presented with this option, they will like, oh, like I'm in Birmingham, and they will click on that, even though the information might not be as good or anything else as the number one article. I don't think I'm getting the snippet. I don't think the article is number one, but if it's somewhere above the fold, I think I'm getting traffic to those. And I think that like the information is basically the same, right? Like the topic, like fences in Maine aren't I mean, they might be different in New Hampshire, but they're probably pretty close, but we're still getting traffic to both of the articles. So I think that this is kind of a cool way to get traffic to articles on competitive terms on keywords that aren't being suggested, right? Because a lot of the marketers who are using keyword tools, they will just focus on the keywords that are served to them by Ahrefs or SEMrush or Keyword Chef, all the rest, which are great ways to get started. And they don't have necessarily a lot of confidence to choose keywords that go away from those. You're right, like, oh, if it's not showing up in a keyword tool, then it must not be a keyword. But it's kind of been one of those experiments for me, like just adding a specific location, either a country or a city or a county or even near something, like near a major monument, like near the Grand Canyon. And you see that potentially Google, because and it's just as it's getting more sophisticated and collecting all of our information that we wish that it wouldn't, I guess, is I have a chance to compete against some other terms. So for me, I'm finding that this is working for me. Now I want to go check the chat, and I'm hoping by the time I go over there, it's been moving, but I haven't been looking at it carefully, and I'm hoping to go over there to see some things that are this is working for me. I'm scrolling back. I'm scrolling back. How far back am I? Let's see. I'm seeing people drinking to the core update. May the core be with you. Josh is talking about one link on Amazon. Eric talking about his first dollar working after 7 months. Takes a long time to get there, but then once you go, the maybe not core update. Ooh, Eric is telling us more about his domain. He said he bought an H domain from GoDaddy. Was supposed to be a low budget US case study, but he can't help himself. So let's see how it goes. Andy says that getting to his first dollar took a long time, but then once you get going, then hit 5 and then 10 onwards and upwards. Yes, it is very exciting. Josh says that the thing that is working for him or his clue or tip is one link. Thank you very much. Stig says the thing that is working for him is remembering to pay his hosting bill on time. Always important. And I almost always put those things on automatic rebill because that's one of those things I would hate to forget. Eric says the thing that works for him is keeping his wife happy. He says also putting the table of contents in posts is working well. Very good. Mom Van Up. Sabina says, I've had to, because I asked her how she was doing. She says she's leaning on her community for a shot in the arm. Had someone look over her keywords for site one, and that worked for her. Aha. So reaching out to other people and getting some support and also some feedback. Keep you on task, on track, and keeping things moving. So that's a good one. I like that. He says he's stopped checking his earnings on a daily basis. Plug your ears, Derek. It has helped with focus. He says, I still check every second day, though. I can't help it. I'm pretty sure June is going to be a no-look month. I don't have a fancy name for it, but I think it's time. I think it is time to do a no-look. And I might actually have an opportunity to take a short vacation with the kids in June. So that just may all around be a good time to just not look at all. Eric says he will step out, but hopefully he will come back and catch up with us. Sabina says she also got some hard traffic numbers for the past 3 months to find that there has been growth, just slow, and that has helped. Well done. Let's see. Upcycle. Jen says she's using the keyword SHer to find different varieties of questions. I've actually been using that more lately also, just to get an idea of what other keywords are out there. And because I have shiny object stuff squirrel, like I'm like, oh, let's do it this way. Why couldn't I just work on the keywords I already have? No, let's go look for some more that I probably don't really need. That is like me every day. Sonia says what is working for her is going after super low competition info articles that are not really able to monetize with affiliates. So they're not necessarily the attractive looking keywords. She says the EPMB is low, but it is getting her traffic to prep her for moving to a different ad network. Ken says that he really needs to stop looking at analytics. He's constantly on Ezoic and Search Console analytics. And for what? A few cents. Yeah, no, it's crazy, right? But it's super addicting. And I really think that if people early on can just get in the habit of looking like at a scheduled time, looking consistently, like I will look Mondays at 8 a.m. and then not look again. Like for mental health purposes, it really makes a difference. Let's see. Eric says he's been looking in the search for what ranks on his keywords and reverse engineer it and then publish 5% content. Josh says he finds super high paying content to add to boost your EPMB. So if you had some content where the EPMB is really low, then you can look at content to add to see if you can improve it. Ken says that he has a possible route to some keywords, using KGR and keywords everywhere. He says, I can't find any so he can't find any on Keyword Chef of use in my current blog. Right on, right on. Andy says the thing that is working for him is lead gen, which was a gamble on an affiliate site, but now breaking ground after a year of nothing. Bravo, bravo. Just do it June. That could be a good one. It's like, nobody look. Like, let's not look. Stick says the council has taken great interest in your progress in Padawan. Yeah, for a May month of updates. May the 4th. Jay, what's up? He says what's working for him so far is including versus keywords in competitive keywords. That's actually something that I've done a lot of on the Mega site. Like I wouldn't rank for like this one big keyword. I wouldn't rank for this other big keyword, but I do rank for the article comparing the two, right? So this one versus this one. And that's not necessarily something that people will always target, but it's really user intent focused. So the people, they know they could search the article for pine fence board or they could look for oak fence boards. But what they want to know is how are they compared? Like which one is better? Or how are they different? So those articles are really valuable. And I also think that if it's good, that the time on page can be really good because people are really interested. Like I really want to know what's the difference. And like they'll really get in there. So I like versus keywords a lot. Eric says he likes Keyword Shitter. Yes, he says the first answers are the ones that get the most searches in Google. Zach says that what is working for him is chasing the AI scraper sites. They basically do the keyword research for you and they never fight back. Truth, and their articles aren't necessarily that great either. So if you find an AI site that is number one for a lot of stuff, you go do their keywords, and then when that site goes down because they get taken down eventually by Google, then you can have the number one spot. Sonia says she checks her analytics every hour. It is madness. Yes, that is madness. It's not healthy at all. And I know this from personal experience, my dear. You got to find a way to use that time for something better, like sleeping or yoga or sleeping. Oh. Let's see. Eric says he found some good long-term keywords with regex. I don't even know what that is. I'm curious though. He says my top traffic articles have been written targeting these keywords. Let's see. I am loving all of these little tips and like what's working for me things. I am liking it. Soren is dropping in. He says, hello, I'm late. And friend, the party starts when you get here. Therefore, you can never be late. Graham says he finds high EMPV keywords are difficult. He says, oh, not you're finding the keywords. He says, okay, so his high value keywords are difficult to rank for in his niche. He has some. Okay, so I think the summary of it is that the valuable keywords are hard to rank for. And so the question is, it's a question I have in my mind. It says, okay, well, would you continue to dump everything into trying to target the valuable keywords, or would you say, whatever, I'll just make it up on the volume? And in most cases for me, I will go down and try to make it up in the volume because I don't necessarily know that I'll ever outrank the folks that are targeting the valuable keywords. Sonia says she needs a no-look June very badly, and I would say yes, very much so. Mom Van Up, Samina says, I'm trying to build up the courage to get email marketing rolling. And once you know how to do and what to do, I think it's all right. It's just, it can be very intimidating in the beginning. Samina says, is anyone here using Paper Jam as an affiliate? I'm not. I will put that call out to the chat. Are you? And what is the question, I guess? Like what is the question about whether or not you are using it correctly? Stephen, what's going on, Stephen? How is your week? How is your month? How are things? It's good to see you there in the chat. Stephen wants to know, how was the affiliate gathering and did anyone attend in person? So we know Keith already told us rather mysteriously that he had made a whole video about it. I know there's some other folks in the chat who had planned to go, or maybe they normally would be in the chat and are not here. I've heard a lot of positive things from folks just one-on-one where they really enjoyed meeting people that we have talked to here online. What I haven't necessarily heard as much about the conference itself, like the presentations and the meetups and stuff, and I would love to hear more about it. If anybody wants to share in the chat. All right, I'm looking at the time. It's 10:42 here, which means it is time for the second segment of the day, which is accountability statements. So, what were you supposed to get done, and have you done it, and why are we not? We need these, I think, for a little bit of motivation. I know I personally do. My goal, and I'll start because I'm in charge. The plan for this month, originally at the beginning of the month, was to get to 100 articles. I think I'm around maybe 50 or so. I've got less than a week to go. I don't think I'm going to get to 100. Secondary, though, to the 100 article goal was to get the Mega site to 1,000 articles. And I have just over 30 articles to go. And that is a goal that I'm not willing to let pass by. So I will definitely be spending some time today and tomorrow, and then the kids are home this weekend, but I will definitely be doing some work in the evenings after they go to bed to make this happen by the end of the month, because I just feel like it will be a really great goal to achieve, to get to that mark. I've never written 1,000 articles or put 1,000 articles on myself. I've had other sites that had that much content, but never done all of it. I didn't write all this content, y'all know that, but I just haven't done it myself. The challenges for this month for me have been health. I've been sick like 3 times, which is unusual for me. I'm almost never sick, but something is going around, and I think might be the same thing, or it might be something else. So yeah, I hope to come back in June with. Oh wait, didn't I just say I was going on vacation in June? Oh well, either way, I've been going hard for a long time. The upside of it, you say, okay, there's the work. What's the reward? I was talking about this last week, and I was hopeful that the Mega site would get to $4,000 for the month of May. And right now, projections look like somewhere between 3,800 and 3,900, but still to be there from, just getting to like January was, I think, $1,600 for the month. So to go from $1,600 to almost 4,000 in just a couple months, I'm jazzed about it. So that's the upside. May was kind of a wash about effort, but I put in the work last year and earlier this year and seeing some rewards. Checking the chat to see, hopefully there's some accountability activity going on over there. I'm seeing some chatting about affiliate gathering. Andy says that he went, which is awesome. And he said it was awesome and by far a voice at long last in the industry. Well, that's cool. There's Sharat. What's up? Dropping in a comment. He says, with the recession talk, should we expect RPMs to go down? Has anyone had experience running sites during the recession? It's interesting actually to talk about that, right? Because you say, all right, if there's going to be a recession, if the economies are going to contract, will we expect then that advertisers will be spending less because they will have less money overall? I think we should all do our best financially to prepare to weather any storm, right? That we shouldn't necessarily be overextending into our websites, like over because like there's this thing going on right now where you see a lot of people on YouTube doing this. You see them just in Discord and chats where people will buy a domain and then they will just push a ton of money into it, right? In some cases, those people have that money and can afford it, and that's all fine and good. But some people are like, okay, I see what is happening, and I've had to watch myself carefully on this as well because it seems like like seductive, right? Like they're making the money, and so you find yourself like wanting to just put more money in it. And some people will borrow money or use credit cards to buy content or to buy domains or to buy links, and because that unless you invest time and or money into a site that is not going to go anywhere. I think that we should always prepare for advertising dollars to be less than usual. And this is, I think, a great time to think about what works for you, what will work for you, and what will not. Like a young person without a family may be in a better place to bear the market going up and down and like riding close to the line. But somebody who has a family like me and many folks in the chat here, this might not be the time necessarily to extend ourselves quite so much. Here's what I will say though. I do think that times of recession are great times to take risks, like the right kinds of risks. It can be a great time to really pour time instead of money into sites because at some point, theoretically, the recession will be over and the people who are left who have survived who have found a way to either to set themselves up to really grow during that time can really take advantage of it. But I personally, and part of it is my conservative nature overall financially, I just find myself avoiding taking on debt and just trying to make sure that I keep an eye on what I'm spending. And so that was also one of the reasons why in the last couple of months I've kind of ratcheted back on spending a little bit is I just don't want to be in a place where I've overspent and then I have some sort of major bill or something and then the savings like my emergency fund just gets like bloop, or I'm forced to use credit for it. So that's how I feel about it. Anybody in the chat wants to talk about the recession, I would like to hear what you thought. Sabina says her biggest feedback is I hope next year they have a theme. I would love to have a better idea of what to expect in the talks. All right, so back to affiliate gathering. Jen doing her accountability statement. She said, I hit my post goal with a few days left, so she will keep going, which is awesome. Steve says he's thinking about going next year. Says it would be fun to meet people face to face, and I concur very much so. Soren says for accountability, he's planning on sending sales email for authority sites courses, which is awesome. Eric says he published, like me, too little this month. Well, friend, the month is not over yet. There is still time. Our friend niche site Dojo drops in, and when people use their YouTube handles, and I forget what their names are, and I feel like your name might be Wesley, but I might be wrong. I'm just going to think of niche site Dojo as Wesley, and you're going to have to tell me what your name actually is. But thanks for coming in. Zach says he was headed to 40 articles, but he's had to scale that down to 20. And next month, he's going to target 40 again, which is a great goal. Keith's summary of it said that it was great. He said the talks were more inspirational than informational, but everybody was incredibly open with information in person. He says, but still go watch his video. Let's see. Next year, Carl is planning on more workshops to cater to more diverse needs. That's the thing is like the needs of this community are so broad because the experience levels also super broad, and also our styles and like our ways, our strategies of making money are so broad. So just trying to cater to everybody, I think, would be incredibly difficult. Sabina said this month she did great on site 2, which is awesome, and hopefully to get there on site 1. Yes, there is still time. Let's see. Eric says, should I ask questions to John Mueller about the core update if I see him this weekend? If you just happen to sidle up to him at dinner, I mean, you could. I would have a hard time believing that he would actually tell you, because I don't always know that what the folks do on Twitter, like if they have a vested interest in telling us like what's really happening versus what they want to happen. I don't know. I think you could ask him and then see what happens and take a picture of his face when he gets when you ask him. Oh man. Let's see. Sabina says she was glad that she attended it virtually. Yeah, it didn't work for me time-wise. I slept through most of it because of the time zone differences. Back to the recession. Eric says that the company he works for did cut the marketing budget. Um, that may happen. Josh said, I would have preferred a camera and audio near any workshop. To the spam of loud music and dead air. Let's see. Andy says, I do agree some of the YouTube videos are poor quality and don't convey the knowledge that was being discussed in the room. And hard in the US to stay up in the dead air time. Yeah, when it's normally time when you would be sleeping, it would definitely be hard. I mean, this is his first time, so I feel like it's worthwhile to cut somebody who like really took a risk. I mean, he's going to get all the slack in the world from me. I just commend that he was willing to do it and really took a risk in a time when nobody was really sure whether or not we would even be able to travel, whether or not that it would even be possible, and then to conceive of it and then to start executing it and then to actually have it happen. I think it's pretty awesome. Maeve says she hit her goals, and of course she did. Maeve in the Icarus spreadsheet accountability group is pretty much one of the most consistent participants of us. Zach says that next year Carl should wear the corn costume. He says it's really sweaty and that it might be hard for him to actually get through it the whole day. Niche Side Dojo said that his daughter has been ill and so been dealing with that. Well, of course, he said no time for videos, and I don't even think that people should feel the need to have to justify themselves. The family first, 100%. Stick says next year more bartenders. Yeah, I like fingers crossed, like thinking good thoughts. Niche Site Dojo for your daughter. I don't know how it happened or what happened, but those of us who have children and those of us do not can still relate that like feeling completely and totally unable to do something. Like as parents, our job is to solve things. Like our job is to fix it, and if we can't fix it, that's a really hard place to be into. Steve says, I agree. It takes a big risk to organize that. Kudos to Carl for sure. He says, if the corn costume is too hot, it might help corn pop. Har, har. Well, that will be the dad joke of the day. Oh, my goodness. I'm looking at the end of the month and realizing that there are some YouTube videos that I have not made. I see myself potentially having to make some videos in the next couple of days. So look for those as they get posted out. Check out Keith's video about the affiliate gathering because I will also be checking it out, even though he's already told us what he said, which is he had a good time. For those of you who need a little boost, like a mental load boost, I'll just say I'm here with you. June is going to be a no-look month. I'm confirming, I'm committing to it. I'm not going to look for the month of June, and I think for those of you who need that, it'll be a great time. So come and do it with me. Folks, good luck on finishing out the month strong. For those of you who went to the affiliate gathering, I'm glad that you had a great time, and hopefully I will see you next year. On your way out the door, please smash the like button. It does nothing, I don't think, except make my heart feel fuzzy. And we will catch you next week. All right. Take care.